Some people endure years of hardship, war, loss, poverty, uncertainty, and they never become depressed. Others experience far less, and yet their inner world collapses. This difference has puzzled humanity for centuries. Why does one mind endure while another breaks under pressure? The answer is not strength, it is not character, and it is not simply chemistry. Depression is not a failure of the mind. It is a learned response to life. For much of modern history, depression was viewed as a flaw, weakness to be hidden, or a chemical imbalance to be corrected. The solution seemed simple: identify what is missing and replace it. But over the last 40 years, research has revealed a far more complex reality. Depression does not exist in isolation inside the brain. It develops through experience, through environment, through repeated exposure to stress without resolution. It shapes how a person interprets the world, how they respond to setbacks, and how they imagine the future. Depression is not just sadness, it is a shift in perception. People experiencing depression do not merely feel low, they see differently. Neutral events feel negative, ambiguity feels threatening, and uncertainty feels unbearable. The mind becomes narrowed, focused almost entirely on what is wrong, what might go wrong, and what cannot be changed. This narrowing is not intentional, it is adaptive, at least at first. When the brain encounters repeated stress, it prioritizes safety over possibility. But over time, this protective response becomes a prison. One of the most consistent findings in psychology is that depression is strongly linked to learning, not academic learning, but emotional learning. Children who grow up around chronic stress, emotional withdrawal, or untreated depression are significantly more vulnerable later in life. Not because depression is inherited, but because coping styles are observed. Children learn how adults respond to difficulty. They learn whether problems are approached or avoided. They learn whether emotions are processed or suppressed. And most importantly, they learn what to expect from life. If stress is constant and unsolvable, the brain adapts by lowering expectations. Hope becomes cautious, effort feels pointless, and motivation slowly fades. This is why depression often runs in families, not as a disease, but as a pattern. Modern life has intensified this vulnerability. We live in an era of constant stimulation and chronic disconnection. Technology has created unprecedented access to information, yet reduced meaningful human contact. People are surrounded by others, but feel unseen, connected but unsupported. Comparison has replaced community. Social media does not simply show life, curates it, and constant exposure to idealized lives distorts perception. It quietly reinforces the belief that everyone else is moving forward while you are falling behind. Loneliness is no longer an exception, it is systemic. And loneliness has profound psychological effects. It alters stress hormones, it weakens emotional regulation, and it convinces the mind that isolation is permanent. Over time, this belief changes behavior. People withdraw, they reduce effort, they stop initiating connection, not because they want to be alone, but because they expect rejection. Depression often disguises itself as exhaustion, not just physical fatigue, but emotional depletion. Every decision feels heavy, every task feels demanding, even small actions require effort. This leads many to believe they are lazy, unmotivated, or broken. They are not ... Their nervous system is overwhelmed. Medication can help stabilize this system. It can reduce intensity. It can prevent spirals. For many, it is necessary. But medication is not instruction. It does not teach emotional regulation. It does not teach problem solving. It does not teach how to tolerate discomfort. There will never be a pill that teaches meaning. The most damaging aspect of depression is not the presence of pain, but the interpretation of pain. Certain cognitive patterns silently reinforce depression over time. One of the most common is treating feelings as facts. The assumption that if something feels true, it must be true. Another is mood-based decision-making, waiting to feel better before acting, and then using inactivity as proof that improvement is impossible. Rumination is another powerful contributor. The mind loops endlessly, replaying the same thoughts without resolution or movement. Thinking replaces action, but produces no relief. There is also all-or-nothing thinking. One mistake becomes a global judgment. One failure becomes an identity. And finally, unrealistic expectations, expecting clarity, certainty, or emotional safety from a world that does not provide it consistently. These patterns are not defects, they are habits, and habits, once learned, can be unlearned. The most important shift in understanding depression is this: the goal is not happiness. The goal is adaptability. Mental health is not the absence of pain. It is the ability to function despite it. Just like physical health requires maintenance, mental health requires skill. People who recover from depression do not wait to feel motivated. They act first. They do not believe every thought. They observe them. They do not eliminate discomfort. They learn to tolerate it. They build structure when motivation is low. They build meaning when certainty is absent. Depression convinces people that their past defines them, that their current feelings are permanent, and that the future is already decided. None of these beliefs are accurate. Depression narrows perception. It does not predict reality. Every human being is vulnerable to it. That vulnerability is not weakness. It is the cost of being conscious, emotional, and human. But vulnerability does not mean helplessness. With understanding, with skill, and with consistent effort, the mind can relearn how to respond to life. Pain does not disappear. Loss does not vanish. But suffering becomes manageable. And when that happens, possibility returns. The future opens again.